Hi, I'm Mike Howie and you're watching Frog TV. This is where Frog Recruitment introduces you to the latest trends, new thinking and tomorrow's leaders. And today we have Jenene Crossan from Flossy.com. Hello Jenene and welcome to Frog TV.
Thank you very much.
Now Jenene, the first question we always ask our guests is what is the first job you ever had where you received payment?
Ooh, good question. I like that one. Where I received payment. See, I've always been pretty good at wrangling money out of people though, including my parents. So, first job would have been taking over my brother's paper round. Yeah, he wasn't very good at doing it on time and he'd been notorious for getting lazy and not wanting to do it. So, yeah, no, that would probably be the first payment one. That would be about 7 years old, maybe 8.
So Jenene, you're obviously very busy, you've got lots of businesses. So when you meet someone on the lift and they ask you, what do you do? What's your reply?
Generally, I'd say digital strategist. I'm a futurist. I like to look at where trends are moving, where opportunities are, and that's where I focus my business interests. So I spend a lot of time, it's kind of navel-gazing to be honest, and looking at how the world is changing and how that's going to affect people and how we can develop opportunities within those spaces. So that's really where I spend my time. On a day-to-day basis though, I'm the director of 3 different businesses. NZ Girl, which is New Zealand's largest social magazine, Flossy.com, which is a quiet time appointments website, and a new business, everydayinfluencers.com, which is a B2B tool for businesses who are doing digital.
So Jenene, have you always been an entrepreneur? And if so, what was your very first entrepreneurial experience?
If you ask my mum, you should probably back that one up. Yeah. First entrepreneurial experience would be setting up a car wash company when I was 11. We went around the neighbourhood getting all the cars together. Well, we didn't drive them, but get them to the same place and charge them $5 a car, which I think back then was probably quite extortionate. And we did that across all summer and made quite a lot of money.
So Jenene, when setting up a new business, what's got you excited about these new businesses? The market potential or some other factor?
Look, as time has evolved, absolutely. Now I spend a lot of time sitting and thinking about the way the world works and where those opportunities and gaps are. And so I get right back down to basics and I get out, colour pencils and paper and I draw out, and map how things are interconnecting with each other and I look at where the inefficiencies are and I try and figure out where's the pain. And that's where Flossy was born out of. It really came from the global financial crisis had fundamentally changed the way that women were spending money on themselves. And basically we were putting half as much money into getting our hair done or going to the spa, etc. And looked at that and went, well, women aren't happy with that. And certainly the salon and the spa owners aren't happy with that. So there's got to be somewhere in the middle. And obviously there was this enormous rise of deal sites, but some fundamental flaws in the way that they work. So we looked at really other models that have effectively moved inventory without affecting brands or creating other administration issues. And one of the ones we came across was whatif.com. And we thought that was just a beautiful model of where you can create best price for an item over a time period. And so we basically adopted that. But if you went back 13 years ago when I created NZ Girl, sure, it was about a gap. But to be honest, at that stage, it was also feeling my way through this new media that nobody knew anything about. I mean, when I set up NZ Girl, it was pre-Google, it was pre-Facebook, it was pre-anything, to be honest. And we kind of just sort of muddled our way through. I was 21, as you do, and it was my university, is I guess the way I look at it.
So Jenene, who's been a really big influence in your professional life?
Absolutely. I've been really fortunate in some of the people that have come into my life. I was 22 when Lloyd Morrison invested in my business. Randomly out of the blue, I got an email saying, I've heard about what you're doing, I'm really impressed, would you be interested in some investment in your company? And I'm like, who's Lloyd Morrison? I was 22, I had no idea. And found out who he was and called him up and said, yeah, that sounds kind of interesting. And he said, look, there's 2 tickets waiting for you at the airport, come down to Wellington tomorrow. And I just happened to be really lucky that he'd broken his ankle and he was at home and he was bored. And I happened to be in his crosshairs at that moment. And it was this really interesting time where obviously internationally online was just going just through the roof and people were just getting these $300, $400 million valuations for companies who were doing nothing. We're talking 99, 2000. And he was fascinated by it. And I just, as I said, I happened to come into his life at that time. And so he was obviously an enormous influence on my life, and it took me years to work out what it was, because at that age I just thought that's the way investment worked. I've subsequently learned, if I've had other investment come into my life, that's usually a bit harder. But he gave me confidence, he gave me things that you just can't give people. A view of my ability to go and do things. You know, here's this extraordinarily successful person who sees this kid and goes, I like what you're doing and I'm going to back you. And what an experience. And obviously his passing recently has been pretty hard. It's really affected me. It's given me an enormous amount of time to sort of sit back and go, oh man, no responsibility, but I've got to go do that too now. So I'd say he would probably be the most influential person ever in my life from that point of view. But then across the years, I've had other people who've come in who've taught me things, and David Beard at Movac, who was my second investment company, he really helped me understand what my skill sets were and helped me figure out how to best question, where's the pain, how do you fix it, where's the inefficiency, how do you develop the business from that? Not just great ideas that you think people will like, but people will use and want to be part of. So I feel very fortunate.
So Jenene, how much of your job is about managing people?
Quite a lot. Pretty good nowadays, I have to say, because I've got a really efficient team, and I've got really good over the years at identifying people who are what I like to call GSDs, so people who get stuff done. And that's really important to me, that I don't have people that I have to kind of drag with me. They need to kind of buy in where we're trying to go, need to be as quick thinking and able to just turn and move. And I mean, I fully brief them when they get interviewed. If they can handle the tornado, you'll be fine. Because I just come in, twirl and keep going. But so nowadays I feel pretty lucky that my people management side of the business is in a really good space. But it's not been without its challenges. I've got some stories that could curl people's hair over the years.
So Jenene, what's one great lesson you've had to learn about managing people effectively?
Unfortunately, one of them I'd say would be not to be quite as trusting. I think when you're younger, you kind of want to buy into the fact that everybody's as open and honest and passionate about things as you are, and then you realise that they're not. And I think that was probably one of my biggest disappointments in life, was realising not everybody had the same enthusiasm for things. And I've come across some pretty dishonest characters, you know, that I've just gone, gosh, that's disappointing. But then at the same token, you, I guess, learn how to frame things better, how to double check things and not be quite so innocent in that process. And we kind of have rules in the house, so we don't hire anyone without 3 different people being involved in checking what this person's like. And maturity, you know, to be honest, comes as part of it, experience, a little bit of extra wisdom, and occasionally still get it wrong, but thankfully nowadays I can say it's been a while since we've got it wrong. Mostly right.
So Jenene, tell us a wee bit about Flossy. Why does it exist, and what's its point of difference with other sites?
Flossy.com is New Zealand's first vanity club. It's a place where women can come in and receive rewards for filling the quiet time appointments of some of New Zealand's most reputable spas and salons. It came out of the global financial crisis, where what we found was that people were going in less frequently to have treatments done. Obviously weren't happy about this, and spas and salons want them to be able to come back in more often. So really zeroing in on those quiet times and rewarding them for filling those. The difference in the market for anybody else is that we're focused on a model of being about not just buying a voucher, but actually buying an appointment. So within the next couple of months we move into where you make that purchase and you book that time at the same time as well. So it'll become a really convenient place to do all the things you need in one place.
So when it comes to future plans for growth, how important are things like Facebook and mobile going to be for your business?
Fundamental. You know, if you're not on the Facebook train, get on it. You can sort of stand back and say, oh, I don't want to be part of the crowd or the Me Too, but at the end of the day, you'll be standing there on the platform on your own. It is extraordinarily important, and other things are going to come about and contend, but they're all going to be in that same kind of ilk, which is going to be about making it as easy as possible for people to share things in amongst their friends. So where we look at Facebook, for us it's the number 2 driver of traffic through to Flossy, and it is into NZ Girl as well. Google's still number 1. 75% of journeys still start with Google with asking a question. So it always pays to remember that. People are looking to find answers to questions. That's what the internet's about. But they're increasingly looking to their friends, and it's a really simple reason that number 1 way in which people purchase products is based off recommendations from family and friends. And friends are our Facebook networks. So the whole concept around how those recommendations happen has changed.
So Jenene, you're an early adopter of both IT and obviously online business. What's coming up in 2012 do you think that we need to be aware of when it comes to new media?
It's what I like to call is a constant evolvement. There are new things popping up. Obviously there's a bit of song and dance at the moment around Pinterest.com. So Pinterest has actually been around for a little while, and we've enjoyed using it for quite a long time. What I love about it is its visual search. It's totally understood the fact that women are magpies, and we buy with our eyes. We see things we like and we go, ooh, pretty, nice. That's why Tiffany's has done so well for such a long time, those blue boxes. And that's a really important thing to remember when it comes to any kind of business, is how you can actually just make it easier for people to find what they're looking for and to interact with it. Pinterest have done that beautifully, and anybody can take that same model into their businesses. So I think social curation is the other trend we need to be considering. You might have noticed more websites are starting to offer Facebook login into their websites. And it's not just simply just because it's easy to remember your Facebook passwords. We always remember those ones. It's more about the fact that then the content on that website gets organised by your friends. So what you see, and Pinterest is a beautiful example of this, is when if I log into my Pinterest account, all the content that comes up on my homepage is stuff that's been either pinned or recommended by my friends first. So it's more likely to be something that's relevant to me. And that's where social curation is going. And that's a trend to be intrigued by, get enthusiastic about, because that's absolutely where we're moving more towards.
Thank you for watching this episode of Frog TV, proudly brought to you by Frog Recruitment. Frog Recruitment is fascinated with capturing the new thinking and information in local and global markets. As information finders and sharers, our role is to continually challenge your thinking, enhance your knowledge, and help you access the latest thinking in the market for you.